I've been doing a little off-camera work on the Hobie from the middle this way. And you can see this side was actually worse than this side, but you can see I took my little palm sander with an aggressive grit, and yeah, it's really, over here you can feel all those gouges, and over here you don't feel any of them. You still see the deeper ones, but there were these ugly little rust straps going across here like this. They were actually I think they were a little worse on this side, but I got them all out. Kind of shaped this a little bit better than what it was. It was kind of gobbed up on one side. So now I'm going to work on the other side. Got it wet. Wet. Let the tool do the work. Well, that ought to do it. I mean, it looks way better than what it was. It feels way better than what it did. That's something right there. Yeah, you gotta go over Yeah, you gotta go over it with your hand, and you'll feel where it really needs it. I mean, I couldn't do this before. Well, I mean, I could, but it was really rough on my dainty little hands. Yeah, and on the other side, let me flip this booger over. On the other side, I've scrubbed the entire thing with simple green. Well, you know what? Let me rinse this off real quick. cleaning and the sanding is done. I'm gonna handle that. Over here. See how clean. Looks like a brand new kayak compared to what it was. Yeah. Had water where water had been standing in it for a while. I mean, there's still a few little, but it's like way cleaner than it was. So actually I need to sand that off because I'm going to repair it. I don't know if Hobie meant for all this right here to be rough, but being that it was rough, it got real dirty. This looks like where they had a seat in here, but the back corners are rubbing on the. So I've got the seat. It's a Austin canoe and kayak seat. That thing was filthy too, so I really washed the heck out of it, and it's sitting there draining. Alright, I think I'm going to turn this sucker around and work on it from the other side. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter which side I work on it from. But I'm going to get my little V-groove, what do you call it? My little V-groove, actually, I think I'm going to put wire mesh on it. I do it all, the whole thing. I don't know. Here's my repair plastic. It's a little whiter, but as I'm working with this dirty cut, it's going to probably wind up matching exactly. And the other repairs are right here. And what I think I'm going to do with these is I'm going to open up this hatch. And I'm going to wrap mesh on the inside, melt it onto the scupper for added strength. The cleaning and prepping is done. I don't know if I was recording or not, but I started laying my mesh in here and sinking the mesh down into the plastic. I've already done this side over here. See, I cut an oval piece of mesh because it's going to wrap down and around, and it's all going to sink into the plastic. So yeah, I've already got this side done, and I've got my little trench back in there. I mean, the trench doesn't really matter. It's got this whole opening for water to go out through, so. This round head on this iron is just about the right diameter for this corner. But it's a little sharp, so I'm kind of tilting it like this so that it'll hit all the way inside. But it's working. Sharp edges. What I'm doing here is I'm starting just above the mesh on the plastic and then rubbing the plastic onto it. Kind of like to seal that edge of the mesh. And I am going to put more plastic over it, so this is just, the whole purpose of this part is just to sink the mesh in place. Kind of like rebar on concrete. As long as I can get the mesh a little deeper than the surface, then when I add the other plastic, it's actually going to cover it nicely. Here they come. The neighbor dogs will sit there and yap until I turn around and look at them, and then they're satisfied, I guess. Stop! Yeah. Hey, I just realized I brought a chair over here. Sit in it. What's that? I'm gonna rivet. Yeah. Gotta move slow. Love this stuff. This stuff meaning what I'm doing. Seems like every day I'm out here melting plastic. It's a cold day. I was going to say, now you know how to do an inside and an outside corner that are near each other. Yeah, that's what's cool about this. And right now, what I'm using, it's not the stainless steel mesh that you get in the little kits, which is probably better. But this is just aluminum window screen. They have one that's called dog screen or dog proof screen or something like that. It's a little more heavy duty. I said duty. It's a little more heavy duty. Grow up. It's a little more heavy duty, and it probably work better, but I went looking everywhere for it, and I couldn't find any. I even asked the guy at Home Depot, and he didn't know what I was talking about. His excuse was, why don't we work in this department? I thought if you worked at Home Depot, you worked in just about every department. But anyway, young guy, still learning, I guess. And what's funny is sometimes these guys, I'll come in there and I'll give them ideas and tips, and I'll even give them sales tricks on how to, when somebody comes to buy something, sell them everything that they need. You're actually upselling, which makes you look good in the store, for the store, or at the store. But even though you sold the customer some extra stuff, they appreciate the fact that you took the time to make sure they had everything. I used to sell computers that way. Come in for a computer and I'd say the printer, the paper, the ink, the desk pad, the chair pad. It's like when they get home they have a complete office setup. They're happy. I get a little bonus for selling them all that stuff, selling them the what do you call it? The product protection. And I didn't sell them on the product protection. I just asked them which product protection they wanted me to add to their purchase. So which protection would you like? Would you like the 2-year or the 4-year? I didn't say would you like to get the product protection. Then I would never sell it because you give them the option to say no. Never give them the option to say no. It's kind of like how I'm getting these kayaks here. When I was looking for a kayak, I was looking for what I wanted, and everybody wanted top dollar for their kayaks. Even simple little Pelican kayaks. I'm like, seriously? So now I put an ad saying that, hey, if you have an old abandoned kayak or a broken kayak like this one, or kayak's not being used, just laying in your yard, give me a call, I'll come pick it up. But be fair, because it's going to cost me some money to restore it, repair it from neglect. I mean, I got this kayak for 1/10 of its value, and it's a $1,300 kayak. So do the math. Well, about 1/10. Yeah, this is going to look kind of ugly right now, but the whole point of what I'm doing here is just burying the mesh into the plastic for strength. Then, well, not only for strength, just for structure. I mean, you got to realize that's pretty cool. A little piece of oval-shaped mesh. Now it's shaped like the kayak. Alright, don't get distracted. Stay where you're at. I mean, for that matter, I can fix this mess somebody else made down here. Smooth it out. Yeah, that's another. I'm keeping the little iron a little bit tilted so as the plastic melts, it stays under the iron and doesn't push in front. And like I've said before, you fix plastic with plastic. Of course, this isn't plastic, but this isn't fixing it. This is actually just reinforcement that's going into the plastic. But imagine if I was doing this crap with Bondo or fiberglass, then when the kayak's in the heat, then goes into the cold, goes back into the heat, goes back into the cold, this plastic is going to stretch. And that Bondo or fiberglass is going to release. I mean, it might hold for a year or two. You never know. Shit, it might hold for a month or two. Some people may have had some good success with fiberglass on plastic, but why? You fix fiberglass with fiberglass. You fix plastic with plastic. You fix wood with wood. It's kind of like when I see people putting putty in their screw holes because their screws are coming out of their cabinets. And then I tell them, use a toothpick. Stick a toothpick in the hole, put the screw back in, and it's just as strong as when it was first put in there. There you go, look at that. A little smoothing out, add a little more plastic to it. That muddy look is just because I'm being lazy and I'm not cleaning my iron. So it's burning the plastic just a little bit. Pretty cool. What's funny was the guy I got this kayak from yesterday. I was telling him that I was going to repair it, and he said, he mumbled something about asking me what I would charge him to repair it. But I acted like I didn't hear him because I wanted to buy the kayak. I mean, if you need a kayak repaired and you live in San Antonio, think about what you're going to have to pay to buy a whole new kayak, depending on what you want. But you can just have me fix what you've already got. I haven't come up with any prices yet, but I mean, this repair right here has taken me, I don't know, maybe an hour or two. But the thing is, I scrubbed and washed the whole kayak, scrubbed and washed these cracks. Alright, let's get some plastic over here. Trying to think, where should I start with it? I'll let you watch from here for a minute while I get the plastic started. I heated the surface. Oops, I don't know if you can see that. I heated the surface here. Then I set this plastic on and I'm heating this because I want the two hot surfaces to meet. And then I'm going to plunge this through all the way till I get to the other plastic. See if I can see. If I pull this and that comes off, that means the heat hasn't reached it. underneath part yet. Yep, it looks a lot nicer than the mesh colored stuff. You gotta heat the surface underneath and then heat the plastic. Just use your iron to smooth it out. And move slow so you don't. The problem with not moving slow is when you get over here and you smear this, you're smearing hot plastic onto cold plastic and they're not going to stick together. So you got to go slow. I mean, look, that looks way better than it does up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this, fold it down, heat underneath, heat it here, and stand it back up, and bump this through. See, if I pull it and it comes off, that means it's not hot enough underneath yet. See? Oh. I think I got a little too hot. It's alright. The thing is, the plastic, when it gets hot, I mean, you work it just like putty. I'm going to leave it a little proud, meaning a little thicker than I need it, because I'm going to sand it down anyway, so I need a little extra so I can sand down the surface. The smoother I make it, the less sanding there's going to be. I mean, it still looks better than this mess down here. I don't know if you can see this or not. Here we go again. Man, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. You know, I've got mounts where I can put the camera on my chest or on my hat or whatever. I never use it. I even have a mount where you can put it on your dog. And you see how that's sticking? Look at that. Chicken like chicken. Alright. Let's watch from here again. Going around the corner. Shut up. Why are you making any noise, stupid dog? Should be nice to me. I'm the one that put your doggy door in. Shut up. Move this down here and cut that piece off. Shut up. Whoop, not stuck underneath yet. There we go. Now I got a blob of plastic all the way around. Now I can just heat this in place and yep, patch is hard now. The camera's still got half the battery left. Ooh, I almost touched the hot part. Still got 28 gigs of space left on the card. Doing pretty good. Getting drizzled on. Yep. Now you understand how this works. Put the mesh down, then you put plastic over it. I'm going to try and keep the plastic up here kind of thin. I want to keep that groove there, but it's not really necessary. Whoa. Yep. I need to go get my wire brush and start cleaning this thing. Alright, I'm going to take a break here. But crack goes from here down to about here, and from here down to about there. But I've already basically structurally repaired the plastic, or the crack. But then I'm going to heat all this up again and add plastic on top of it, like this. So it's going to have a reinforcement mesh and then more plastic over the top of it. Ouch. I felt a sharp edge there. Stupid woodpecker. Every once in a while he'll get on my roof and he'll start tapping on my my vents. Not vents. Well, yeah, well they're vents, but hey. Grass kind of sort of cleaned it. But yeah. It's an ugly patch, but once I sand it smooth, should be okay. Wait, I need to get some heat in here. Yeah, now I'm going to take a break. Thanks for watching. I'll come back once I've got a little more done here. But thanks for watching. I appreciate the support. Appreciate it even more if you sent me $1. Talk to you later. I reached a stopping point due to rain, and I kind of sanded this one too, but I've already smoothed this out some. I need to put some more plastic in here. This is already good. You put plastic in here, I'll be done. But I've already patched all of the crack from there to there. Put the little seam in it. It kind of conforms to what the kayak already does. But I think it looks pretty good. So it's amazing what you can do with a little piece of mesh. Alright, I've already taken care of these patches. What I did with the heat gun is I heat this whole area, and while it's heating I take a thin piece of plastic and hold it in front. While I'm heating this, I'm holding this in the front so it melts, and then I just put like a little blob of the plastic in here, and then well, before I did that, actually the little cracks that were in here, I didn't record it, but everybody knows to do this. I drilled a 3/8" hole. 3/8? 3/16. I don't know, just a little smaller than a 1/4 inch. I drilled a hole at the beginning and the end of each crack. And then all I do is I put the plastic on here, and the plastic is like putty, and I make it to which both the kayak and the plastic are like ready to melt. This is a wet t-shirt, so all I do is once I get it on there and there's enough, I'll shape it with my thumb. Otherwise, I mean, you can't put your hand on there, it'll burn you. But yeah, that one's done. And then I went over, I was going over it with sandpaper, but just to finish shaping it. These cracks were so small and insignificant. Normally I'll put wire mesh on them. I didn't even bother with these. Yeah. I'm going to reheat those. And then back here, we had 2 small cracks. There was a small crack here and a little bit bigger one here. So what I did was I cut an oval piece of wire mesh, and I laid it in here, and it basically just did this. And I melted it all into place onto the plastic of the kayak, and then I went over and I just heated little pieces of plastic, kind of gave it the same little line of the kayak had. This is a patch. This is a previous patch. I don't know who did this one, but I tried sanding it smooth and making it nice again. I think the only way I'm going to be able to fix this is to heat it up again. Yeah, you can still see the mesh right along the edges here. But it's aluminum mesh, so it's not like it's gonna rot or anything. Yeah, I just need to heat it up again and then just rub it to smooth it out. And it's a $1,400 kayak. Knock a couple $100 off for the repairs, but the repairs are stronger than the original. These cracks are because the guy was using a don't use scupper hole kayak dollies. They just break they just crack your kayak. So yeah, this thing was filthy when I got it. probably can see that in the pictures. I've resurfaced, well, not resurfaced, but I've smoothed out all the bottom of it. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a Hobie. Tandem. Person can sit back there and up back here and up here. If you want to ride it by yourself, sit right. Oh, that was wet. Sit right here in the wet spot. And actually, I have the seat that goes to it. Right in here. Yeah, this. Guessing here. Here. The heck? No, that's not where that was. I bet you he had 2 seats. He only gave me 1. Now, that's fine. For what I paid for the kayak. Yeah. The seats are for front and back. I'm guessing. Yep. Yeah, these seats are. I bet you he probably had a set of. I've got a couple of these seats anyway. They're actually more expensive than this one. The ones that got the fancy little back on them. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this one's for up there. But I just need to adjust the seats. Anyway. Thing was full of like where water and dirty water and stuff had just been sitting in it. You can kind of see the discoloration right there a little bit. I mean, I cleaned the whole thing with Simple Green and scrubbed it. I mean, I even went to this extent. Cleaned in all the little nooks and crannies. But yeah, there she is. Hobie Kona tandem kayak, and you can ride it by yourself. You can take the seat, move it to the middle, and it's a 1-person kayak. It's very stable.